One of the services offered by the Student Counselling Service in NUI Galway is Cognitive Behaviour Therapy, or CBT. This presentation is a short introduction to CBT. There is strong research evidence that CBT is an effective psychological therapy for a wide range of emotional and psychological problems. Central to this approach is the understanding that our feelings and moods, including, for example, depressed mood or feelings of anxiety, are closely linked to our patterns of thinking and our behaviour. So from the thinking part, obviously we get the word cognitive, and from the doing part, the word behaviour. Often we are not aware of the ways in which conscious thoughts or underlying beliefs work to maintain negative moods. In the same way, we may not realise how the things that we do when feeling low may reinforce negative patterns. In cognitive behaviour therapy, client and therapist work together as a team to understand these patterns and to explore ways of bringing about positive change. It is an active process that involves learning about ourselves and developing new perspectives and ways of reacting. A lot of research has evaluated CBT as very effective with depression and with anxiety. I've included here some references to part of that research, and the full references are given at the end of this PowerPoint presentation. Specialised models of CBT have been developed to understand how particular types of anxiety problem, such as panic attacks, phobias, obsessive compulsive disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, social anxiety and eating disorders are maintained, and these too have been found to be very successful. Because of the success of CBT, it is recommended by many bodies, such as those of the UK National Guidelines and by the American Psychological Association, among others. When we're feeling bad, obviously feelings are central, and feelings are extremely important in CBT. But the importance of feelings is linked to the fact that our feelings depend on our thoughts and beliefs. Feelings are also linked to our actions, to our behaviour. So it's by analysing thoughts, actions and feelings together that we can learn about our own patterns when engaged in CBT therapy. An example of looking at these aspects is in the case of someone feeling depressed or feeling down. There may be thoughts and beliefs such as, I'm a failure, there's something wrong with me, I'm an oddball. If those beliefs or thoughts are in our minds, then they will tend to cause feelings. The person may be sad, may feel awkward, may feel self-conscious. As a result of having these feelings, someone might tend to avoid people more, to do less, may find it difficult to study and to concentrate. If as a result the person becomes more isolated, falls behind in their academic work, then that will tend to reinforce thoughts such as, I'm a failure, there's something wrong with me, and that will tend to increase the negative feelings. So a kind of vicious circle is created. Another example is that of panic attacks. Panic attacks might begin for someone because at a particular time in a particular situation they're feeling hot and they're sweating, and that might make the person feel somewhat anxious. Because they feel anxious, they might tend to breathe faster or to overbreathe. This might lead to new thoughts coming into the mind, such as, I can't get my breath, maybe I'm going to faint. those kinds of thoughts will tend to make the person feel even more anxious. As anxiety increases, the person will tend to breathe even faster and the heart may begin to race. This may lead to thoughts such as, I will faint, maybe even I'm having a heart attack. And so again there's a vicious circle formed and anxiety can escalate. This again is an example of a kind of a general pattern of how the process might work when someone has panic attacks. In CBT, however, these general ideas need to be applied to you as an individual, and that's a more detailed and a more precise process. So here's a brief example of a slightly simplified analysis of someone who actually worked on panic attacks with the counselling service, and as you can see there's much more detail about how exactly feelings, behaviours and thoughts interacted for that particular person. In CBT we tend to talk a lot about thinking and doing. It doesn't mean that feelings aren't important. Feelings are absolutely central, and when you're in CBT therapy or any form of therapy, your feelings are accepted. They are what they are. But if through CBT you become more aware of your negative thoughts, beliefs and ideas, perhaps mental images that pop into your mind at certain times, then they can be taken out and they can be looked at, they can be re-evaluated, reappraised, and this may lead to fresh perspectives and insights. The same is true of actions. You can become more aware of how you tend to behave in situations where you have negative feelings, and that creates the possibility of change. And if you change the way that you think and the way that you're acting, then inevitably your feelings will change too. Working as a team is a very important aspect. The therapist is seen as a facilitator, not someone who has all the answers, but someone who helps you to find answers. The therapist's role is intended to be open, transparent and honest. There's nothing hidden from the client. It's an open relationship. Within the therapy, respect is given to the fact that whatever skills or knowledge the therapist might bring to the situation, you, the client, are the expert on you. So what's needed is a real collaboration between your knowledge of you and your own situation and what the therapist can bring to the situation. Through working together in this way then, as I said before, the theory is fitted exactly to the person. There's no attempt to try to make people fit with theories, but rather the other way around. Active involvement is extremely important if the therapy is going to be useful and progress is going to be made. On one level that means active feedback from the client regularly about how they're experiencing the therapy and how it's going for them. It's active involvement also in the sense that the client becomes, in fact, over time their own therapist, so that they learn skills and techniques and ways of managing their own feelings, thoughts and actions. It's active too in the sense that research has shown that progress is much better where clients work between sessions. That might mean keeping a diary, doing experiments, trying new ways of behaving or thinking in situations and seeing how that works out, recording negative thoughts or emotions that might occur in certain situations between sessions, and so on. So if you're interested in CBT, then you can contact the Student Counselling Service at 5 Distillery Road, and on the screen now you can see our phone number and our email contact. And I'll just finish this presentation with the more detailed references concerning the effectiveness of CBT that you saw earlier.